Good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited for those of you that are joining me live today. I know a lot of you are probably in the midst of preparing for Hurricane Florence, and we wish you all of the best. Just thank you so much to all of our clients that have reached out and asked how we were doing. Our offices are closed. We've moved all of our on-site servers and things like that. All of our employees have evacuated the area. So everyone at VRM is completely safe. And we just want to thank you for reaching out and wishing us well. And your prayers and your thoughts are really appreciated in this time. And just know that if you guys encounter anything on your end that you need our help with, we are more than happy to help. That's what we're here for. We would really love to have you guys reach out to us, ask us any questions you might have. I am going to go ahead and introduce today's topic. We are really, really, really lucky. We've got Jeremy Gall on the line with us today. Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks for having us.
So he is going to talk about today, he's going to actually talk about the breakthrough industry trend and how it's going to make you more sales. I know that a lot of times you might read the title and go like, what? I'm not sure about that. But let me assure you, I've already had talks with Ben over at Breezeway. I've had talks with Jeremy, and the stuff they have in this presentation is really super awesome. And I'm excited for you guys to actually get a chance to actually learn this information and look at what's happening in our industry, because there are so many changes going on. It feels really volatile a lot of times in our industry because there are so many changes and so many things happening. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jeremy. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and you go ahead and share your screen and we will get on with the presentation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Give me a moment here and we're going to pull up, I'm going to pull up our screen and hopefully here, get started while we make this transition.
Awesome. And we can see your screen now, just so you know.
Okay. How about now? Does this look good?
Yep. It looks great.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And thanks everybody for joining us. I know, I think we're live casting this on Facebook as well. Is that right, Brittany?
Yes, I am. This is our first time ever doing that. So I'm actually setting it up right now and we're going live. So
fantastic, which is really fun. So thanks for joining us. My name's Jeremy Gall. I'm the founder and CEO of Breezeway. I've joined you once before on Tea with Brittany, and I love this show and what VRM and Brittany does in particular, helping bring industry trends and news and hopefully insightful information about the industry direct to clients. And so we're happy to be here to share with you. We should have time at the end. I think Brittany might moderate some questions if folks have them. So please feel free to write in. We're happy to answer questions at the end. And we'll start off. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about me, just a little bit of quick background, why we're doing this. And then a few warm-ups just to get our brain thinking more high level about the industry. I recently, I guess, first a little background. I started a company called FlipKey in the vacation rental space, a marketplace to help people find more guests, connect with guests, build their reputation through guest reviews. We partnered with Expedia and TripAdvisor, and that went on to be a big part of TripAdvisor's vacation rental product. After I left, I've started a new company called Breezeway, completely opposite side of the spectrum. Instead of focusing on marketing, it's focusing on property maintenance and care and how you really take care of the properties so you can ensure this incredible quality guest experience and quality owner experience. We're going to spend some time today talking about that. But first, I recently sat through a really great presentation by a fellow named Jeff Evans, who had, he's climbed many mountains, many of the highest peaks. He's climbed every one of the highest peaks in the world. And he had a couple of really interesting points from his presentation And not to steal too much of his thunder, but I thought it was so good that I wanted to incorporate some of it into this one really quickly. I thought it's very appropriate for property management, and in particular, vacation rental property management. One of his themes was that we're all guides. We're all guiding someone through our lives, whether it's just plain ourselves, our children, or if we're in business, and I think this is where I draw the analogy, our clients. And property managers are guides for their clients and how they're taking care of their property. The asset management, asset protection, that is one of the reasons these owners are turning over their homes to you, so that you can help guide them how to extract the most rental income from their property, but also how to take care of it. You're their guide in this journey. And one of his other points was leading from a place of service. That when you're providing service to the larger community or to your clients, you really embrace that role, and it can be very rewarding. I think that's so interesting when it comes to vacation rentals. Vacation rental property management, I think too often can get involved with the constant rat race of marketing the properties and not the service element of the properties. And we like to avoid some of the more service-orientated element of the property management, but that's what we do that's really special. I think that's important and a good reminder. And Brittany already said the word volatile in this industry, and I don't even think she'd seen this slide before she said that, but
no, I hadn't, so that's really funny.
It's really interesting, right? It is one of the things that's so amazing about vacation rentals is how dynamic and volatile the industry is. Another word for that is it's very kinetic. It's always in motion, and you have to stay on your toes, and you have to adapt to that in order to maintain your position and grow your business. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to go through some high-level points about the market. One more warm-up point of view. This concept of the push to quality and this major opportunity and shift that I think is happening in vacation rentals. This is a quote from the CEO of the Marriott Group, talking about one of the reasons why they're so interested in vacation rentals. And if you read the second line, they're talking about the real attributes of quality, the lack of real quality around service and product makes this an area where we think we can deliver something which is simply better. So the Marriott is looking at this, and they think about how they are going to get involved in this product, and they want to leverage all of their expertise on building a fantastic world-class brand and operation, and a consistent brand and operation where people understand what they're getting when they stay in a Marriott, and leverage all of that experience to bring a better, high-quality product to vacation rentals. And I think this is a great warm-up to the entire dynamic of, as this market continues to mature, this push for quality is going to manifest itself into a bigger push towards operational excellence. And the managers that can take advantage of that will grow their business and be very successful. It'll be the key to growing sales and growing your business. And the ones that are unable to take advantage of that or prioritize that are really going to struggle because of folks like the Marriott that will be competing directly with you. So let's get into it. Enough of the warm-ups. Here's our agenda for today. As I usually like to do in these presentations, I think very high level about the market, to draw our own conclusions about what we want to do at Breezeway and how we can help our clients. I like to share that with people so they have some understanding about what we're seeing in the market. Then we'll bring that down to level and understand why there's this push for quality and what's happening across the market, how that's manifesting itself. Then what the implications of that are to property managers in a practical sense. And finally, some tools and some takeaways and some ideas about how to think of your business to capitalize on these industry changes, move with this kinetic landscape, and take advantage of it. So first, and I saved this for this slide, this is not Hurricane Florence. I think it actually looks a little worse than this as it approaches the Carolina coast today. And I'm nervous myself with the house in Pawleys Island about what exactly is going to happen. And certainly our thoughts are with a lot of our clients in the Carolinas who are, taking that service model. I was speaking to a property manager yesterday where in past hurricanes, the housekeepers and the staff have actually stayed through the hurricane. They've slept in client homes so that they're there. The moment that the evacuation is lifted, they're there to start preparing homes because they know that their guests are waiting in line on the other side of the bridge for that roadblock to be lifted. And then as soon as the roadblock is lifted, their next wave of guests is going to be coming in, and the housekeepers and the maintenance staff needed to stay on island so that they would be prepared. That is amazing dedication to the service of property management to do that. And I know a lot of people take a lot of pride in their work and are taking those risks. And so, our thoughts are definitely with our clients who are doing that literally right now as the storm approaches. As a metaphor, the winds are coming in, there's a lot of change, and you can either get swept up in them, or you can weather them and use them to your advantage to find sunnier days ahead. And I think that is really what we're seeing in the last couple of years with a lot of changes in the vacation rental property management market, between consolidation of property managers, new managers coming into the market, and the changes that we see. So we'll talk a little bit about that. There is some serious competition, and since I've been in the industry over the last 12 years, that competition has just intensified. So you have online travel agencies with a combined market capitalization and value of $150 billion plus. You have the major public hotel chains with a market cap of almost $100 billion. And then you have vacation rental startups over the last 2 years raising a combined $1 billion to leverage technology and platforms or channel partnerships and marketplaces to help grow the business and take advantage of the changes in the business. And there's a lot of capital and some serious competition for property managers to cooperate and work in the same environment with. You're working in the same environment with these companies that in many ways are cooperative with you and their marketing channels, but they're also competing with you for travelers. And it forces managers to have to be very thoughtful and measured about their marketing programs. And I think it forces them to also really get caught up in what's happening. What's very interesting is over the last 2 years, a lot of that money is flowing more towards services and technology that can help make property managers better at their job and help optimize different parts of their workflow. And then there's a converging travel and living dynamic. And I think on the simplest level, we can think about this is hotels like the Marriott or Accor getting involved in vacation rentals and starting to get involved with vacation rental inventory. But at a deeper level, there's something going on in that the way that we live and the way that we travel is converging together. Apartment buildings, multi-unit apartment buildings are starting to think about short-term rentals. Plenty of people, certainly not most of us, but the younger generation of folks and freelancers are living a nomadic lifestyle where they're moving from unit to unit, staying for shorter leases. The concept of a 12-month lease is deteriorating. So there's this major fluidity between what is a short-term rental, when does it become a long-term rental, and how is the mix between the two of them. Another part of that travel and living dynamic is the level of concierge services you might want to live, and there are new models in apartment buildings where your living conditions feel much more like you're living in a hotel. You're not responsible for your own cleaning. You're not responsible for your own dry goods. All of that is being brought to you. It's a much higher level of concierge living in an affordable manner. And once you become accustomed to living that way, you certainly want to travel that way. So that blend, I think, goes well beyond just hotels getting involved in vacation rentals and has major implications for our consumers and the consumers that will be coming to our properties in the future. While that's going on, there's growing and growing demand growth. demand for vacation rentals. At the same time, stays are getting shorter and shorter. I talk about this often with property managers and our clients, where this completely changes the dynamic of their operations when the stays are getting shorter and there's just more and more travelers coming through their properties. And one of the implications of that, especially when you're dealing with older homes, is that there's increased wear and tear by guests coming through. When you used to turn a property 8 times a summer, 12 times a summer, and now you're turning a property 30, 32 times a year, there's just more and more wear and tear on that property as the guest utilization goes up. And this is not a trend that's going to go away. There's a great concept coming out of the MIT Masters of Real Estate course called property fracking, which is the division of a property down into further and further, elements of utilization, where then suddenly, you're getting the most economic benefit. You're finding the optimum way to leverage a piece of property. And short-term rentals is a great example of that. The growth of short-term rentals is a great example of that, where you're just dividing what might have been a longer term tenant into smaller and smaller ones, and increasing the utilization. But that increases the operational burden on that property at the same time. So that's our first takeaway. There is a major changing landscape. We're not even close. In the last 10 years, there's been dramatic shifts in vacation rentals, and I don't think we're anywhere close to seeing the status quo in vacation rentals and in property management, for that matter. The changing landscape is reinventing property management. It's bringing new operational challenges. It's bringing new models, brand new models of how property is utilized, from co-living to the way multifamily is approaching this, that we've never even seen before. And as those grow in popularity, it's going to meld into the way that vacation rental managers work as well. It's really interesting, vacation rental management and the way that vacation rental managers operate is becoming closer to the norm to other types of property management. That high touch, home concierge asset management approach that vacation rental managers have, which historically has been so unique to this smaller corner of the larger real estate world, is becoming closer to the norm. It's really, that's a big part of the opportunity that we see for property managers. Next, in a little bit more of a tangible point, as we dig deeper into this subject, there is a really big push for quality. People are expecting, and these are words that are taken from leading new national vacation rental property management websites, and then services like Airbnb Plus, and people who are really pushing for high quality experiences and listings. They want you to not come and have just a 5-star experience. It is going to be they are promoting a flawless, exceptional experience for the guest and for the folks that they're interacting with. A consistent brand experience that is absolutely perfect. And what that does, that higher push for quality, is just very, very difficult on a property manager. At the same time, there's an increased focus on service, higher concierge, and a deeper level of experience. Millennials want to travel so that they can take pictures on Instagram and post them. They want to make sure everyone knows exactly the experience that they're having, and they really highly value that experience. That needs to shine through in the property that they're staying at, and the way they interact with it, and how the property manager is approaching that property and that experience. And while that's going on, they have zero tolerance for errors. If the Wi-Fi isn't working, that can be a devastating, all of a sudden your vacation is completely ruined. We go on vacation to work, and if we're not able to work while we're there, it can just be crushing. And what that really means, though, is there's just really no tolerance. Everything is supposed to be really perfect. And when you work with unique property, that becomes a very, very big operational challenge, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. This week, I stayed at the Westin in an undisclosed location. And when I checked in at 11 p.m., this is what the top sheet on the bed of my hotel looked like. I'm not sure what stain that is, but it was right at the fold of the sheet. There's no reason that that should have been the case. Easy to very easy to notice, not only as a guest, but certainly as a house cleaner or an inspector. And it's this little small detail going wrong when you check into your room or you check into your vacation rental that is enough to make you start to question the experience that you're going to have with your entire stay at the hotel. If something like this has been missed at the hotel, what's the cleanliness of the bathroom? How clean is the kitchen? How reliable is the rest of the service that the manager of this hospitality unit, that the manager of this provider is going to bring to my experience and to my stay? And you start to really begin to question how well that can be. And this is a great example of that sort of zero tolerance that can be hard for a manager to recover from when something small like this gets missed and is wrong, and it's very difficult to do. It's easy for the West. It should be much easier for the Westin, right? They have 800 rooms, excuse me. They're all the same. They're all going to be replaced with the same exact linens. The beds are the same. The raw materials that they're working with are stable and consistent, which is the complete opposite from a vacation rental manager. Everything is different. You have unique properties filled with unique beds. Many owners insist on using some combination of their own linens or pillows, and that makes it extra challenging for a property manager. And this is a very interesting trend as well. I was speaking with Matt Landau last night. You may know him from the Inner Circle and other marketing initiatives, VRMB. And we were talking about the growth in experience, the growth in service or services that are not scalable. This is a great example of a typically not scalable service where you are personalizing everything for this guest check-in. Personalized notes, personalized Scrabble board, everything is personally directed at Margaret when she comes to check in. But this level of customization and this sort of perfect experience, this personalized hospitality, is where the industry is going. It's where hotels are going, where you can pick and choose the artwork that you might have above your bed at a hotel in New York. And this is it's not ever going to reverse where suddenly these sorts of customer expectations are going to trend down. This push to quality is moving forward, and it's going to keep continuing to move forward. I think this is really fascinating that not only is there this push to quality, but it's in such a level when you start talking about exceptional and flawless, and you look at the marketing and the brand and the community that a company like Airbnb has built and is continuing to build. They are building an emotional connection with their community and with the guest. And they want that guest to build an emotional connection with every rental that they stay in, not just with the host, but with the property. They want them to love this experience, really love it. That is very different than a 5-star review. It's much beyond that when you're trying to cultivate this much deeper emotional connection to the experience that you're having while you travel. But that's the future of how people are traveling. People are taking more and more trips, but they're doing it because they want this emotional connection to where they're visiting, to the unit, and to the manager or the host that they're staying with. We know this in vacation rentals, and we've known this for a long time, right? That's what makes vacation rentals so special. The inventory is unique, and it's often located in unique locations where hotels are not a great option. And that connection to that unique location and the uniqueness of the listing is what makes it so special. Airbnb is capitalizing on that other providers in this industry are capitalizing on that, and really forward-thinking vacation rental managers are capitalizing on that, doubling down on that dynamic to really drive an emotional connection to the client. But you can only do that when things are done absolutely perfectly. So there's this pressing need to evolve, I believe. And that this is the big opportunity that's in front of rental managers, this evolution and this push towards quality, emphasizing the quality of the experience that you can provide, the high quality of your services, and what that means to a guest and to an owner. So let's talk about that. What are the tangible, digging further and further into this topic as we go, what are the implications for property management of this push to quality and these market conditions that we've laid out in the last few minutes? Well, these guest expectations are way, way up. Anyone who's heard me speak before has heard me talk about the Amazon effect and the implications that has to consumer expectations. And not surprisingly, it makes them go up. When you can get whatever you want delivered to your home within 2 days and you don't have to pay extra for it, or sometimes you can get it delivered same day, you start to expect that level of interaction with all of the businesses and the companies that you work with, all of the services that you work with. You want everything and you want it right now. The number of Amazon Prime subscribers is supposed to double again in the next, I believe, 5 years, which is absolutely dramatic. The amount of on-demand commerce is growing faster than e-commerce. Is growing faster now than e-commerce grew over the first 20 years. This is the undeniable trend. Everything right now on your phone, and immediate satisfaction. That's combined with more things for a property manager to track. Embarrassingly, I tried to count the number of Wi-Fi connected devices in my house here in Boston, and I think we were at 26 Wi-Fi connected devices between smart speakers, routers, a smart lock, Nest cameras, Ring doorbells, Wi-Fi connected floodlights, a few internet capable light bulbs, and a few other things, Google Wi-Fi routers. That's not including laptops and computers. That is a lot of devices to be online and make sure that they're working. When that many devices are in your vacation rental, and a guest is there to interact with them, the expectation is that they're all going to work. It's not just good enough that the Wi-Fi is working. The rest of these Wi-Fi enabled devices should be working as well. Smart speakers should be working and be able to be used. The smart locks need to be working perfectly. Everything should be working if it's going to be in this house, which means there's more and more for property managers to track and make sure that it's accurately tied into the guest experience. And there's this endless communication. I think this is a good thing, but it can also be very daunting. And I know this is daunting for property managers. They can interact with their owners, some of whom can be a little more challenging than others, through multi-channel communication, whether it's text or email, their online portal, their telephone, etc. And it's all day long. Whether it's your owners, your service providers, your personnel, or your guests, there's this endless stream of communication. And part of the service promise is to react to that, to pull out what's absolutely necessary and respond to it, to certainly respond to every guest and owner communication, and to do it in a timely fashion. That makes it harder and harder for everything to be handled and tracked accurately, and to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks and nothing's been missed. This is not a trend that's going away. Sadly, I think it'll continue to be exasperated where there's just more and more communication. And you're doing it across more people. You can't be expected to provide more concierge service without either leveraging more staff or more service partners. And the property managers that I talk to are doing a combination of both. They're increasing their staff so they can handle more things in-house. They're always on the lookout for better and more qualified service partners so they can leverage synergies with that business as well. But that leads to additional operational complexity, right? Now all of a sudden you're required to provide more service at a higher quality with nothing going wrong in properties that you don't own and with staff that's not totally yours internally, and you're relying on those service partners to help you meet those brand standards that you're trying to build. It's a tough challenge. There's a wide spectrum of service among those providers as well. This is a whole separate topic we could talk about, but maintaining those brand standards across those service partners can be very challenging. And if you don't have insight into how that's happening, or you're not providing them with tools where you can help them and help them meet your own brand standards and bring them along with you on this journey, lead, guide them, be from a point of service, can be very challenging. So the punchline, when it all boils down to it for property managers, is all of these trends are leading to heavy operational pressure. There's more work to do and you have less time to do it. And the work needs to be done perfectly right without anything going wrong. And I think that is where you get to how important this operational challenge is for property managers. In a recent national survey, 53% property managers were stating that more than 53% of their time is spent on maintenance and back office operations, and a third of managers note that operational challenges and keeping up with them is a top priority and a top challenge for them in their business. This is equally important in this push to quality as keeping up with your marketing programs and optimizing your marketing programs. So how do you do this? And here's where we get really tangible, I think, with some good ideas on how to take advantage of these trends and take advantage of what is the biggest opportunity right now in the vacation rental market. And that is, you have to leverage this change to your advantage. And the managers that are leveraging this change to their advantage are growing, and they're growing exponentially in their markets. And other folks, they'll suffer the consequences, I believe, if they don't start to prioritize this piece of their business and really keep up with this push to quality and focus on it in a way that historically we've done, but we haven't really showcased it as property managers, especially in the vacation rental context. So let's talk about a few ideas about that, and then we can always dig in on some of these other topics. So first, you really have to make it a priority, I believe, that if you believe all these trends that we're talking about and the fact that there is this push that we haven't even really dug into concepts like Airbnb Plus and highly verified listings going through 100-point checklists and consistent amenities and consistent service. That's the future of where things are going. That's how hotels will be approaching this. That's how the biggest national vacation rental management brands are approaching their operations, with a real focus on how do we leverage technology, how do we work on our process so that we can make it repeatable, standard, and consistent, and we can stick to it. Because when you can do that and you can make it a very repeatable process, you can start to build up these consistent brand standards. Brand standards are the way that everyone interacts with your property, and it's the emotional connection. And we've done some writing on this. VRHP and Dirk Johnson have done some writing on this as well. I invite you to check that out, but we've got some information at Breezeway about that as well. Using these brand standards helps you build an emotional, consistent connection with the traveler. If you have a brand standard and you're sticking to it, then it's not up for debate how that traveler is going to feel when they walk into one of your rental units. You know exactly how they're going to feel because you've stacked the deck in your favor. The shades are open, everything is clean, a few of the lights are on, there's a welcome note on the table, there may even be a welcome package. You've already communicated with them pre-stay. Nothing is left up to chance. They feel good about the experience they're about to walk into. There aren't any surprises. There are no unknowns. They've been able to anticipate their trip in a knowing, consistent way. And then as soon as they walk in the door, that's the same feeling that they have. That's what helps them relax immediately and feel like they're on vacation and they're going to have a great rental experience. The only way to do that when you work with lots of unique properties is to really dial in and build a repeatable process and standards across the board. And we're happy to talk more about that, but I think this is we're going to go through 3 points here. All 3 of them are very important about how managers go about taking advantage of this big opportunity. And at the end, I'm going to tell you exactly why I think it's the biggest opportunity. The next is to build a property data strategy. What do I mean by this? This can be a little bit of an esoteric topic, but what I mean is you know your properties better than anyone else. Many vacation rental managers and the clients that we speak with and that we've known for years have been doing this for years. They have decades of operational experience. They have a decade-long relationship with that owner and with that piece of property. Over the course of that time, they've built a relationship with that piece of property, and they know all about it. They are the most qualified to maintain, rent, and care for that property. The only problem is all of that knowledge and that qualification is likely in the head of the director of maintenance or your longest serving maintenance tech or the director of housekeeping or the few personnel that have watched this transition and been with the company for 10 years. We need to do better than that, because what happens is if the data only exists there and you don't have it you don't have a strategy around that, it's very difficult to use that intelligently, to build additional tools and functionality on top of that, to leverage that property data and your historical knowledge to actually help you be better at your job, so that you can be predictive about the tasks that you have to do. You know exactly what needs to happen at that property. You can interchange staff to make it happen, and you can make sure that the owner and the guest is feeling the quality care that you're providing. So building a property data strategy is very important, and it's not that hard. It's just picking a solution, leveraging technology to take that information, put it in a structured format so that then you can push it out through and use it as you continue to build tasks. And the next piece of this is just equally as important. Anybody that's worked with data before, whether you're thinking about it from maximizing your online bookings, improving cart abandonment and conversion on your own website, or optimizing marketing campaigns, it's all about not only collecting the data and having a good repository for the data, but making the data actionable so that you can do something with it. It needs to be available. And in this sense, property data needs to be actionable, needs to be in the hands of your staff in the field. They need to be able to leverage it. Everyone needs to be on the same page. And there's ways you can do that then just completely, they completely change the efficiency and the operational competency of your team. So we can talk more about that. I'm happy to, but we are encouraging everyone, and we're seeing that the tech-enabled property manager, and sometimes I put that in air quotes because property managers have been tech-enabled for years. This is an industry that's been quick to adopt technology and use property management software systems for the last 30 plus years. We're very good at that. We're very aware that vacation rental management is a difficult business across multiple disciplines, and we need software and technology to help us get the job done. Now there's a bigger push towards using software and technology on the property care and property data side so that you can actually help leverage that. And what's the byproduct of this? The byproduct is you can really showcase the quality and care that you provide these homes. What I see now is that these newer vacation rental management companies, these national platforms, when you go to their websites and their landing pages, It's all about emphasizing quality. It's all about the quality of the listing and the quality of the experience. What it will be like to interact with one of our properties, to use us as a hospitality company, and that we care so much about the properties that we provide a really high quality experience. That's what vacation rental managers have been doing for a long time. That's what they've been doing for decades. But we haven't focused on that. We haven't been grabbing the megaphone and shouting to the market about how well we take care of these properties. And I think most vacation rental managers have been providing that service and doing themselves a disservice by not sharing and emphasizing that. They're providing that high level of care, and instead of shouting about it from the rooftops, they're putting a list of their 100 properties in front of the guest and trying to get them quickly into the shopping experience so that they can find a rental and book it, without emphasizing the amount of work and care and presence that they provide in the local market to make sure that the guest has an amazing experience. It goes well beyond just the property. It goes how we care for that property and what we've been doing for the many years that we've been in business. So once you feel better about the quality of your care, once it's dialed in a little better and you're really focusing on operational excellence, you can showcase that quality. You can share it. You can share it with the owners. You can change the complete dynamic of the way owners care for their properties. When it comes to upgrades, when it comes to routine maintenance, everything isn't a battle of tug of war with your owners, because there's greater transparency and they're well aware of how well you care and take care of their property. When I speak to rental managers, they don't lose homeowners typically because there's a fluctuation in rental income. They lose a homeowner because that homeowner begins to feel that the property manager doesn't care for their property. Something went wrong. A lawn mowing was missed, and an owner showed up, and the lawn wasn't mowed, and it's the final straw, and they don't feel that you care for their property, and they're going to look elsewhere. That's not something we can afford to let happen as vacation rental managers, and we can change that dynamic by focusing on our operational excellence to make sure that never happens. That shouldn't happen. So the real takeaway here is that managers can leverage, they really can. There is technology, whether it's through the PMS systems, and I know VRM is concentrating on this as well, whether it's through the PMS system or whether it's through additional services like Breezeway, there is technology that managers can leverage to help continue to drive efficiency if they want to focus on it. And those that'll focus on it will capitalize on growth in vacation rentals and dictate a new standard of service in the industry. This is what's happening over the next 5 years. There was a real push. The kinetic shift that I'm seeing, and that I think we'll continue to see, is a real push to quality. 10 years ago, when we were starting FlipKey, the kinetic shift was towards some level of brand recognition and a little more confidence in the booking path. I'm not sure what I'm going to get. I don't know if I want to inquire on this property, let alone book online. That didn't even exist. It was barely starting to exist 10 years ago. I need a little more confidence from verified reviews on this platform, not just testimonials, that'll help me feel more confident about this is the right property, this is the right supplier for me. And that's what we focused on with guest reviews in the vacation rental industry. And I think that came to fruition. That was the trend. That was big. And I think now the next trend is around this really big push to quality, whether it's hotels that are getting involved or national rental manager and management companies, big tech-enabled ones. This is what they're doing. This is their promise, is really, really high quality. And the rest of the managers need to rise up with that at the same time. So in summary, this market convergence, everybody focuses on, if you look at the conference schedule this fall, depending on where you're going, there'll be plenty of sessions around marketing, and then there'll be a few sessions, I'm sure, around hotel convergence in property management. But that's just the beginning. I think that's just one piece of the sort of market convergence that we're seeing. It's really market convergence on guest expectations and the way they travel and they live. And hotels is one big piece of that for sure. But it's this whole macro trend in the market towards concierge services that are really going to be a push to vacation rental management. Quality is going to be the differentiator. There's high expectations and there's more work to do. And the best part about it, and this is my public service announcement always to vacation rental managers, is vacation rental managers are uniquely qualified to take care of this trend. They're in market with years of experience, not only relationships with the properties, but relationships with service providers, local knowledge and know-how. They know all the quirks of how to operate in that market and how to operate well in that market. That is very, very difficult to be replicated outside of market. That's their special advantage, is to be in market and able to do that. And all of these trends, they're all in favor of the rental manager. They're all pushing in favor of this opportunity for the rental manager to say, yes, I'm raising my hand. This is what I can do. I can provide this quality. I can meet these expectations because this is what I do. I'm a property manager. And this is the level of service that I provide. And that's the key to growing. That, in my opinion, is the major key to growing your business and growing sales. It's the big key to attracting new owners to the market. And you're going to see higher and higher turnover as younger people inherit their family vacation properties and they have no qualms of renting them out. That is going to be the big driver of growth for vacation rental inventory and second home destinations. Forget about urban destinations for a moment. That's going to be the big driver of growth in vacation rental destinations, is this overturn to a younger generation of owners who have no qualms about renting it. That's going to bring new supply to the market, but they are going to expect an absolute perfect experience from their property manager. And the ones that can deliver on that are the ones that are going to capitalize and get that new inventory. So optimize your operations is the real main mantra here. And don't ignore them in the face of all of the marketing work that you still have to do.
Wow, that was really good. I loved when you were talking about how rental managers they have to excel in so many different disciplines. I know that for me, that is totally the truth. Whenever I look at a rental manager company, there are so many different aspects and pieces to the business that it can be really hard to juggle and manage all of those. And one thing that I did want to mention is, a lot of times people will say, with the rise of Airbnb and, VRBO and things like that, people think, oh, I can rent myself. I can do it myself. And they don't realize. I had an aunt who actually had a property, and I kept telling her, you need a property manager, you need a property manager. And she wouldn't listen. She was just going to do her own thing. And that was fine. It worked out good for her for a while, but then she realized she was running into a lot of these things that a property manager would take care of. And she ended up deciding to sell the house and buy in a different area. And now she's listed it with a property manager. But the moral of the story is that a lot of times as property managers, you forget that you can actually outsource some of those things. Like you were saying with brand standards, we talk a lot about that at VRM with our marketing team, and with, we provide marketing services, and we have brand kits for everybody. You have a brand kit, and these are the logos you use, and these are the fonts you use, and these are the colors you use, and these are the types of photos and the keywords and all the things that go with that brand for any kind of digital marketing that we do. And so I'd really encourage you, if you don't know how to make a brand kit, make a brand kit. That is such brilliant advice, because that is the only way to ensure that your brand is staying on point when you're not managing things, is that if people are using the brand kit. And I loved the way that you talked about, brand standards across your operational standards to make sure that, the cleanliness looks a certain way, and the, handwritten notes are a certain way, and all that kind of stuff. It goes such a long way, and it may seem like it's really hard to do, but I would just encourage you, it's really worth the time. And the last little thought that I had about what you said was just that, a lot of times we think, oh, these little things aren't going to make a difference. They're not going to make a difference, but they actually do. People really enjoy and appreciate the little touches in your business. You know, you don't have to compete with somebody exactly the way that they are competing in the industry, because if you market to everybody, you sell to nobody. And so finding your niche market and really targeting those people who are your target renters and what is your dream rental, rental home look like, and targeting those people specifically and using that as the tool to build your business. You know, you get to a certain point and you get brand recognition and name recognition and people will call you. But when you're just starting out or when you're trying to expand your inventory, those are the really important things, is really being picky and choosy about who you deal with and who you work with, because that is, you know, you have to talk to these people on a daily basis. So just so much good information in this webinar. I'm just so happy that you came on and talked with us today, Jeremy. I really appreciate your time. I know that you're busy and you have a bunch of other things going on. So we really, all of us really appreciate your time and energy here today. And for those of you not watching live, if you need to get in contact with Jeremy, he's got his email and phone number down there at the bottom of the screen, the VIP@breezeway.io. If you guys want to reach out and you want to talk to Breezeway about how they can help you with your operational standards and how they can help you move into the next phase of your business, then I would really suggest that you reach out to them. It's a great company. We're so glad to be partners with them. And so yeah, we just thank you so much for your time today, Jeremy. You've been so helpful, and I really love this presentation. I'm really excited that we got to put it up here. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thanks for the kind words. And I think we see the world from the same point of view, and we're happy to be integrated partners with VRM as well. And I think that it is an operationally really, really hard business.
Yes.
And it's really sometimes I think it's a touch unfair for property managers, everything that they're supposed to be good at.
Yeah.
But the saving grace is that folks like your aunt and everyone else, they may not consider that they have a property manager right now.
Yeah.
But no matter what they're doing, they may be quote unquote self-managing. But even the majority of people on Airbnb and VRBO, that's not what they're doing. They may be self-marketing, but in the background, someone has to be responsible to help make sure that guest is going to have a great experience. And it used to be you could kind of get away with being subpar on that side of it. And that's not the case anymore. And so I think property managers will be rewarded for the work they put in here to be good at this, because it's what's going to bring more owners to the table.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, honestly, the ability to know what your guest wants and to connect with them on an emotional level will really increase your chances of them coming back to you. I know a lot of people talk about, the way that they make decisions, and really, if you think about the way that you make decisions, is you make decisions based on feeling and how you felt during that process. So really putting the time and effort in to give the guest the best feeling possible, that's your best chance for building a business successfully, and don't just think about the guest that's actually staying with you right then. Think about their kids and think about their grandkids and think about generations from now. People are going to be coming to your business because they remember staying with you years and years ago, and their grandma loved you and their mom loved you. And so now they're planning the vacations and you're targeting a new audience, and it's coming to you naturally through the generations. So yeah, really awesome stuff. And if you guys want to catch the replay of this, you can always go onto our website, virtualresortmanager.com/blog. And if you click the little Tea with Brittany Lee sidebar over there, then you'll be able to see all of our replays of our Tea with Brittany Lee episodes. So again, thank you, Jeremy, so much for being on today. We so appreciate it. And I hope everybody stays in touch and let us know how you make it through the hurricane, because we we are really wanting to make sure that our clients are safe and that you guys are okay. So get in touch with us. Let us know how everything is going. If there's anything that we can do for you to help out in this time, just let us know. We're happy to help. That's what we're here for. And without further ado, I guess we will talk to you guys next month. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks so much, Brittany. Take care, everybody.
Bye.